Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I will be talking about Sorry Baby. Alright, so Sorry Baby is one of the highest rated movies of this year. It gets incredible scores all around, and I can definitely see why that is the case, because this movie is genuinely amazing. I have to say, it starts out very slow, but it does so in a particularly nice way that it makes sure that you really start to care for everything that's happening. And it's also, in some capacity, not in any way chronological, that you start off when things have already happened, then you go back and then you have a chronological order of what actually happened and in what way, but it never really explains a time period on it unless it tells you how much time have passed since some of the events have happened. This movie is great upon that storytelling type, and it's really just it's really good in getting you emotionally invested in the story. You really care for these characters, you really care for what's happening, you really start to hate the characters that your protagonist Agnes hates, you really start to love the characters that Agnes loves, you really start following her on her journey where she feels completely alone, where she feels like everything can move on except for her, and that she's stuck in this place. And it's really great in what way that they tried and that they actually achieved to tell the story in this, so that for that reason alone this movie is definitely worth watching and worth going to the movie theater for. But there's not only that, there's also just every character, the story, and the way the movie is shot. The movie is beautifully shot. Every shot and every piece of everything looks incredible. The cinematography is awesome on this one. But I think, for me personally, what I like the most about this movie is I have never been a big fan of tonal shifts. I never like it when a movie goes from one emotion to the other, and usually it's not even that good, and you just have these tonal shifts and it makes your movie feel like a mess. And this movie has a lot of tonal shifts as well. At times it's hilarious, at times it's just funny, at times it's depressing, at times it's sad, and at times it's even scary. But the main thing that this movie had with its tonal shifts is a very urgent feeling of care and a feeling of just love and a feeling of perfection and a feeling of just having control over everything in this movie. The tonal shifts work perfectly. They work expertly for what they are trying to do. They can make you laugh, and a moment later you can cry, and they can make you scared, and a moment later you can feel relieved, and it all fits so well. It all feels so incredibly natural, and that is the main thing that I can give this movie. It's just, it all feels so incredibly real because of the tonal shifts that flow so incredibly perfectly with each other, that this movie is just an incredible sight to see. I have to say, it does take a little bit too long. The movie could have been shorter, just a little bit. In the ending, whenever the story gets done and they have this epilogue thing, it kind of loses me there. It could have been shorted down. That piece could have been out of it, and then it still would have been great. This movie has a cat. Cats are always awesome, and it's a very cute cat, and I love the cat. And the first scenes with the cats were among my favorite scenes of the year, because that was just insanely fucking cute and I loved it. And even though the predecessing scenes were very depressing and very scary, that was worth mentioning alone. Alright, even though it's a little bit too long, everything else is kind of perfect, so I can't give this movie any less than 4.5 stars. And hard, because it's so genuinely amazing. Have you seen Sorry Baby? Please let me know in the comments down below what you think of this, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.